Hi ladies, so the first thing that I did was I used the Jergens Natural Glow. Now this is their face moisturizer. It has broad spectrum SPF 20. I use the medium to tan skin tones. I accidentally picked this up. This is actually empty. I went ahead and picked up the light to medium, but I really like this moisturizer. So that's the first thing I did. And then I took the Benefits It's Potent Eye Cream and just put it under my eyes. So I kind of let that soak for about 10 minutes while I finished, after I got out of the shower and everything. So the first thing that I'm going to use is the Lorac I'm So Sensitive Face Primer. Now this is a soothing face primer, oil-free, silicone-free, paraben-free, and fragrance-free. I actually got it as a sample and loved it so much that I went out and bought the whole bottle. I think it's like $32 for 1.7 fluid ounces, but I love it. I'm going to actually use the sample because I do have a little bit of product left in it. But basically what I do is I just put it all over my forehead and the rest of my face. And I even put it under my eyes because it is paraben free and fragrance free and stuff like that. I feel like I can use it under my eyes. And it just helps my concealer, stay better. I just rub it in. And then I even go on my neck. And just rub that in. And you can feel like, because it's silicone free, it's not going to, once it dries, it's going to feel like nothing's on your face. It doesn't feel sticky, it doesn't feel soft, because the softness I think comes from the silicone, and I break out with the silicone. So this is, I used to use the Pure Hydrate and Balance, which I really liked. I didn't break out from it, but it made my face really, really oily. This does not. So if you have oily skin, I would really, really recommend this. The next thing that I'm going to use is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This is their foundation, and I am in shade 3.5. And what you do is you just shake it up just a little bit. And I'm going to be using this with my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. It's just like this. And I'm going to shake it up, and I'm going to pump 2 pumps onto my skin. Now onto the back of my palm. The only thing you have to worry about this is it is very liquidy, and if you don't keep your skin or your palm flat, it will run off. So I'm just going to take this and start putting it on my skin. And I put it under my eyes and around my eye area. Generally with other foundations I don't, but because this it just has really good coverage. And then I find that with my under eye concealer, if I don't put it under my eye, if I don't put the foundation under my eyes, then my foundation my concealer just doesn't look as good. So I just kind of bring it all the way up, making sure to kind of get into the tan or the hairlines. I'm lucky for the sense that my neck and my chest pretty much match my face, so I don't have to, I still bring it down my neck, but I don't have to, really put it up into my scalp. I did use one foundation where I did have to do that, otherwise my scalp was really, really white and my face was a little bit darker, but this one matches my skin tone pretty well. So I'm just going to buff it in, and I really love this brush for this because it makes it effortless, but it just glides the foundation on, and it's just nice and soft, and it just feels really good. I'm going to take a little bit more of the foundation. I'm going to put a little dab onto my palm, and I'm going to just hit the areas that I normally get really red at, which is right in my T-zone. So I'm going to kind of speckle that on. I'm going to do a little bit more. Previously with other foundations, I would have to take concealer into this area and do concealer and then do the foundation, but this foundation is buildable and it has really, really good coverage, so I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm like super red around my, and I'm not taking a lot of product. It's, I'm definitely working it in, but I'm putting like not even a whole pump. I mean, just a little bit. And you can always go back through with concealer if you want more coverage, but I just kind of speckle that in and buff it out. Okay, so that is it for the foundation. What I'm going to do next is, if you watched my amazing under dark eye circles video, you know these are the two products that I use for my under eyes. This is the Nars Red Lizard lipstick, and it looks like this. And then I also use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is Light 2 Vanilla. And basically what I do, I used to put it on my palm and then kind of mix this with it, but what I do now is, just to kind of save the product, is I actually apply the red lipstick, kind of dab it in under my eyes. And this seems super crazy, but I just think that my under eye circles are horrible. So, and then what I'm going to do, I use two different foundation brushes for the under eye area. The reason why I don't do like concealer brushes is it just doesn't provide enough coverage, and the foundation brushes are just big and it kind of gives an airbrush look. But basically I use one for the red and then one for the concealer. So basically what I do is I kind of buff this color in, and I just find that this works better and it saves a lot more product. Because the red lipstick I wasn't using too much, but the concealer I was using a lot of, and my eyes just were getting cakey. So I find that this kind of works a little bit better. And I'm going to bring it all the way up. And what the red does is it kind of cancels out the blue tones in my under eye circles and kind of color corrects, if you will. And then I'm going to take the concealer over top of it and cover it up. I'm just going to take my finger where my fine lines are right under my eyes and just blend that out. And then I'm just going to kind of buff it in my skin. Just use the warmth from my finger, and I'm using my ring finger. Just kind of buff that into my skin and just make sure that it's nice and buffed and it's nice and smooth. Next I'm going to take the concealer and I'm going to put it on the back of my palm. And I usually get 2 swipes. This is really thick concealer, so you don't really need a lot of it. But basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to cover up the color correcting that I did. Now generally what I do is I try to do different things, kind of let this set a little bit, and then, or dry, I guess. And then I just take the foundation brush, and I'm using, I don't even know what it is anymore. This one came from Groupon, so I don't have like high-end brushes or anything like that. So just taking this foundation brush, dabbing it in, and just kind of putting it over that product. And again, the purpose is to kind of cover up that pink and just create kind of like a flawless look. Now basically what I'm doing is I'm going in here, but I want to bring it down, because then that will create just nice and smooth. I don't want to just settle right here. I'm going to actually kind of bring that product and bring that product up. I do my eyelid just because it just happens, you know, the pink always gets on top of my eyelid. So I kind of do that and buff it out. Now, I always have a problem where it kind of gets under here. So I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of buff it into my fine lines under there. And then take the, my finger again and just kind of even it out. Just make sure that it's nice and smooth and pressed into my skin. You can see, voila, it is pretty much gone. So I'm going to take a little bit more, do the other eye. Again, same motion, same concept. I'm going to do a little bit more concealer. Just dab it in. Just bringing it down, bringing it up, bringing it out. Just kind of creating a big triangle so that everything is smooth and it doesn't look like directly under my eyes are super white. Then I'm just going to take my ring finger. I'm just gonna and go into that under eye area and just kind of blend it into my fine lines and bring it down. And again, just using the warmth of my ring finger to kind of spread that product and making sure that it's nice and smooth and there's nothing there. And that's it. Now the only thing I'm going to do, I do have a little bit of a ring right here, and that's kind of, it's not really a dark eye circle, it's kind of where my bag is. So I'm going to take a little bit, and I'm actually going to look right at the mirror, look down where I can see that bag, and put it directly right under that bag. And this will kind of create like a little 3D illusion. And I'm just going to pat that in. And it just kind of makes it look like I don't have that. Like that. I'm going to do the same to the other eye because I can see a little bit. Just put it under and then just kind of blend it in. And then what I do next is I'm going to take the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush again, and I'm just going to go directly under and like on my nose. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of pulling the product down so that it creates a nice smooth base and that it kind of is ombre, if you will. It's light here, but then it kind of smooths out right here. Now I'm not going to go into the eye area because then it kind of messes up the makeup that I just did. I'm going to kind of go right under it and kind of smooth it out and blend it out and make sure that there's no harsh lines and that everything is nice and smooth. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I've been loving the Bare Minerals Translucent Compact. This is the Bare Minerals Ready Touch-Up Veil Broad Spectrum SPF and Translucent Color. This is actually at, like, I call it the impulse aisles at Ulta. It's right before you go to the cashiers and they have like all these different little itty bitty sample sizes, if you will. So this is like the little sample size. This is not the big one, but I went ahead and tried it out and I thought, oh, it'd be perfect in my purse, and I love it so much that I'm using it in my daily routine. So basically what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. Now this is bigger than like a normal eyeshadow. Like this is what I use for my eyeshadow blending. This is just a little bit bigger, but it's really, really soft. And it's just perfect for the under eye area. So I'm just going to kind of dab it on, and then I'm going to dab it onto, and you can see the problem with this stuff, because that concealer is so thick, it's going to kind of crease up on your eyelids. So just kind of make sure you blend that out. And then, like I said, I'm not swooping this, I'm patting it. I'm patting the foundation or the powder into that concealer and setting it. And you can put as much or as little as you think you need. I like to put a lot because I don't want that concealer to go anywhere and my dark eye circles to start showing. Now this will pretty much last all day. I would say it probably lasts about 6 to 8 hours. It won't be an all-night thing. I wouldn't, you're still gonna have to touch it up if you have to go somewhere at night. But basically, I do my makeup about 5:30 in the morning, and I would say by 3:30, I've noticed that my dark eye circles start peeking out. So you can always touch it up during the day, like I said, but by that time I'm tired and just want to go home. So I don't care. Okay, so once you have that, I just take a big fluffy brush. This is by Beauty Basics, but it's just a powder brush. I'm just going to put that all over my face. Now the reason I do all over my face is because I'm oily all over my face, mostly in my T-zone, but I do tend to get oily out here. I will be honest with you, with using the Lorac primer and the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, I do not get oily. I do not have to blot my skin anymore. My skin is pretty flawless throughout the whole day. So if you have oily skin, I would urge you to try this combination, especially if you are allergic to silicone, you break out from silicone. These products do not break me out, and these products have helped combat my oil, even without the translucent powder. So the translucent powder helps, but I can honestly say, even when I use like the e.l.f. translucent powder for like $6, I still don't have oily skin. So I really, really love that combination. So if you have oily skin, I'd recommend it. Just try it. Go to Sephora with no makeup on and have them put it on you and wear it all day and see what you like about it. See if you like it, see if it helps. So basically, again, and then I'm going to kind of pat the powder in. And that is it for the face. And then next, I love, this is probably my go-to. This is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzer. It just says blushed and blonde. But supposedly, the reason why I had bought this is because this color is supposedly supposed to be a dupe for the Orgasm. Is it Nars Orgasm? I can't remember. But the Orgasm blush. But I really like this bronzer. Even though it looks kind of muddy in the pan, I really like it. It matches my skin tone very well. I have a little hair right here. Basically what I do, I use this kind of flat kabuki brush. Now this is not a Sigma brush, this is just a brush that I got at Groupon, but I kind of use this as my contour because I use the flat part and then I use the, yuck, I got hair in my mouth, but I use kind of like the edge of it to kind of get into that crease, and then I kind of put it flat and blend it out, and it just really works well for me. And then I do the other side. And I'm not contouring crazy. Just enough to kind of slim my face, if you will. And then I put it up here. I don't kind of put it up here. I do put it up here. And then this is the only part that I actually try to get into my hairline, just so that there's no harsh lines and it kind of blends well. Kind of blend that. And then what I do is I take a little bit and I go down here. And the key to contouring is just blending and making sure there's no harsh lines. And then kind of bring it down my neck. And then I take a little bit and I kind of do my nose. I don't do a lot of product with this brush on my nose just because it is a little bit harder to control. So basically I'm going up sides of my nose and then kind of down on the bottom. And then next I'm going to take, this is just a kind of fluffy brush. I like it for blush. It's another Beauty's Basic. I got it all as a set, but I'm going to take that, so I don't blind you, I'm going to take that pink color and I'm just going to put it on my cheeks, kind of focusing on the apples but kind of bringing it out. Kind of making sure that bronzer is kind of, that contour is kind of meshed with the blush. And then last but not least, I'm going to take, this is the Maybelline Color Tattoos Pure Pigments, and this is in color Barely Brazen. You can see here, it's just a nice little highlight color. And I just take a little fan brush, dip a little bit, and I put it down the center of my nose, and then I kind of swing it right there at my forehead. Take a little bit more, and I go right under my eyes, just above my cheeks. It kind of helps if you smile, you just want it to set right at the top of your cheeks. And then I put a little bit right here. I don't go crazy right there. A little bit on my chin, and then I take a little bit and I just go above my brow. Just kind of create a nice little V, if you will. And this is just glowing. I mean, it's just very subtle highlight. It's not like crazy. You can definitely build it as much as you want. But I like this product because it's dual purpose. I like it as a highlighter for my brow bone and a base color, but then also I use it as a highlighter for my face. So that is it. Of course, you know, it's not finished because I have to do my eyebrows and my eye makeup, but this is kind of my flawless foundation skin routine. So hopefully you ladies enjoyed it, and make sure you check out my other makeup tutorials where I focus more on my eyes. I don't really do my like a whole look. I haven't done that yet. So hopefully you ladies enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.